the long-awaited video. I've got to keep my voice down because of Mason's asleep outside of me. Oh, he's not. He's woke up. He's got a little bit of a cold, so he's napping a lot more lately. This is the long-awaited video regarding parking tickets. And have I had some success? Have I? Yes, I have. We're going to start with this one. Phillips Specialist Bailiffs. And we're going to go through letters that I'm going to read out the letters that I've wrote to them, and similar letters that I've wrote to Nottinghamshire County Council and other places. I'm going to play a phone call that I've just made to Phillips Specialist Bailiffs, where the guy on the phone says, "Oh, it's been handed back to bailiff. It's been handed back to council, and I've had absolutely no visits from these guys." And this was for parking ticket. East Lindsey District Council are writing to inform you that although you have been sent previous correspondence to this notice, you have failed to satisfy arrears. Where's the first one? I don't know. I send a lot of letters back, you know, if they don't fulfil my desires. Well, anyway, this is what I wrote to them. It is my understanding that equality before the law is paramount and mandatory. I mean, I've wrote all this stuff here. I've put a title, notice of understanding and claim of right and request for clarification. And you have apparently made allegations that I owe East Lindsey District Council parking money. You have apparently made demands upon me to pay the money allegedly owed. I do not understand those apparent demands and therefore cannot lawfully fulfil them. I seek clarification of your documentation so that I may act according to the law and maintain my entire body of inalienable natural rights. You can put that in if you want, you don't have to. I'd just start with, this is how I'm going to do it in future. I'm just going to start with, it is my understanding that equality before the law is paramount and mandatory. It is also my understanding that the council, being a service created by man, cannot own property. It holds property in trust for the public, and I do not see the need in asking permission to park my vehicle on my own property. I would normally buy a ticket when parking in these types of car parks, but in this case I made a genuine mistake and I will not be punished for making a genuine mistake. Furthermore, I reserve my right not to perform under any contract or commercial agreement that I did not enter knowingly, voluntarily and intentionally, and I do not accept the limited liability of the compelled benefit of any contract or commercial agreement not revealed to myself, which are my rights pursuant of common law. Furthermore, I claim that all property held by me under common law, being any and all intellectual property, real estate, trade tools, private automobiles and contents at the private posted residence known as, you know, my address, blah 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 blah, Road, England. I mean, I never put my postcode, I don't know why. I know it's postcode is for commerce purposes only, so I never put, I just put England. Are held under claim of right. It is also my understanding that in the UK we have the right to a fair trial and due process, and all fines and forfeits to persons before conviction are illegal and void. The Bill of Rights Act 1689, that all grants and promises and of fines and forfeits of particular persons before conviction are illegal and void. In this section, before conviction means that no fine or forfeit can be imposed until and unless the individual is convicted in a court of law. The Bill of Rights Act cannot be repealed. It is a constitutional act that protects our constitutional rights. Article 6 of the European Convention on Human Rights protects the right to a fair trial. In civil cases, it protects the right to a public hearing before an independent and impartial tribunal within reasonable time. It is also my understanding that the Council is a service created by man and requires contracts to claim authority over man. As a gesture of goodwill, I conditionally accept to pay the money allegedly owed upon proof of claim of the following: that I caused the Council some sort of loss, that there is a contractual obligation I have infringed, that the charge was part of a lawful investigation unmarried by prejudice. Failure to accept this offer and to clarify and to do so completely and in good faith within 10 days will be deemed by all parties to mean you and your principal and other parties abandon all demands upon me. Responses must be sent by non-domestic post to the address exactly herein provided below no later than 10 days from the date of the original service as attested to by way of first class recorded delivery date. Put me address, sincerely without ill will, Dan. Now then, I got a response from this. So this was sent on the 24th of October. On the 31st of October. I'm writing with reference to your recent communication regarding your outstanding debt to East Lindsey District Council. I must advise you to contact East Lindsey District Council Parking directly with details of your dispute, as the PCN was issued by East Lindsey District Council Parking and only they can advise us on any change to the PCN. Well, you'll see from the phone call that I made to Phillips Specialist Bailiffs that that is not true. We cannot hold action on any account unless we are advised to by our client East Lindsey District Council. And then on the 2nd of November, well, I'll read you my response to this. On the 2nd of November I got a letter saying that it has come to our attention your case is about to be allocated to our recovery agents, which may result in them making attendance to your premises to execute recovery procedures against you. Yes. Well, I responded to the notice with this. I am writing in response to your letters dated the 31st of October 2012, so that I may act according to the law and maintain my entire body of inalienable natural rights, as I have detailed in previous correspondence. In my original notice I quoted the Bill of Rights and the European Convention on Human Rights, Article 6. You have either misunderstood what the Acts say, or you are willingly disregarding them, which is gross negligence and equal to fraud. I also detailed my conditional acceptance of your offer to pay the money allegedly owed. This conditional acceptance removed all controversy. Your failure to provide clarification after being served notice and being given time to do so dishonoured the original notice and meant that permanent estoppel was created by your acquiescence. If you continue to pursue this, it could be considered unlawful and illegal harassment, and I could act accordingly and report you to a number of relevant bodies. You stated in your letter that you cannot hold actions unless you are advised to by your client East Lindsey District Council backing. I am notifying you that you have no authority or jurisdiction over myself, as there is no proof that a debt exists. Also, I did not give East Lindsey District Council Parking permission to use, process or hand out my personal data to any third party, as is my right pursuant of the Data Protection Act. You are hereby also notified that for my time henceforth spent reading, preparing, making, or answering communications of any sort related to this matter beyond today, the 5th of November 2012, with yourself or any other agent, associate, or employee of yourself or any other party, I will apply fees accordingly to the following schedule, for which by doing so you agree to be liable. Fee schedule: telephone conversations £100 per hour thereof. Letters £100 for each and every instance. At this point there was a glitch in my camera for 30 seconds. I've never experienced this, I don't know what it were about, but this is where I left off. In each and every instance. This fee schedule still applies until such time that all my requests for clarification have been met and or it is proven that I am part of a contract binding me to pay this acclaimed debt. Between myself and East Lindsey District Council or Phillips Specialist Bailiff and Recovery Agents. Should you ignore this notice, I will report you to the Office of Fair Trading and to Trading Standards, as you will be in breach of the Administration of Justice Act, Section 40, since the agreement is unenforceable whilst in dispute. Sincerely and without ill will, Dan. Well, I've never heard anything from them since that letter on the 5th of November that I sent, so I called them up today. Here's the conversation.
Yes, thanks very much. Looks like this has actually been cancelled and returned back to East Lindsey District Council, so you have to get in touch with them regarding this issue now.
It's been sent back to East Lindsey District Council?
Yeah, it's with them now, we're not experiencing this anymore.
Okay, that's fantastic.
Alright.
Thank you for your help. So, and if you watch my video I made a couple of years ago, maybe a year ago, to Bristow and Sutter certified bailiffs, you'll see the same thing again, although they called at my house a couple of times. But I got a letter from them which I've misplaced, saying that they're unsuccessful in collecting the amount and they've handed it back to council. So I called them up, and that conversation in that video, how to beat the bailiffs, confirms that. Right then. The next one. Nottinghamshire County Council. Chasing me for an alleged debt for parking on Forest Street, Sutton in Ashfield, parking in a restricted street during prescribed hours. I know where, because I park there all the time. I nipped at Butcher's. I park there, I nipped at Butcher's, which is 50 or 100 yards away. I get me meat, get back in car. Once a week I do this. And I've had a couple of parking tickets from them, from being parked there. This particular one, because I wasn't showing a blue badge, and there's a load of other parking spaces around there that are empty at the time. You know, if they're all full and there's one space going begging, I won't park there because I'm responsible. I've got into this game. I need to be responsible. You know, if I go to Asda and I'm struggling to find a parking space, I'm not obliged to buy a ticket, really. There's no law, but I get one. I feel as though I am obliged in a way. So, parking in a restricted zone. You know, same old stuff. You have apparently made allegations that owe you money, blah 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 blah. I do not understand those apparent demands, therefore cannot lawfully fulfil them, blah 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 blah. It is my understanding that equality before the law is paramount and mandatory. It is also my understanding that in the UK we have the right to a fair trial and due process, and all fines and forfeits before conviction are illegal and void. The Bill of Rights Act, that all grants and promises, blah blah blah, before conviction means blah blah blah. The Bill of Rights the Bill of Rights does not give me these rights. It lists the rights I already possess naturally and therefore cannot be repealed. fair dues. Article 6 of Convention on Human Rights, blah blah blah. It is also my understanding that the council is a service created by a man and requires contracts to claim authority over man. It is also my understanding that the council is a service created by man. It cannot own property, can only hold property in trust for the public, and I do not see the need in asking permission to park my car on public property. Furthermore, I reserve my right to not to perform under any contract or commercial agreement, blah blah blah, same as other letter. Furthermore, I claim all property held by me, blah blah blah, held under claim of right. As a gesture of goodwill, I conditionally accept to pay the money allegedly owed upon proof of claim of the fund, that I caused the council some sort of loss, that there's a contractual obligation I have infringed, that the charge was part of a lawful investigation unmarried by prejudice, failed to accept this offer and to clarify with intended blah blah blah. Similar to the Phillips Bailiffs letter. I got a response saying that on 2nd of November. The representation that you made in respect to the notice of penalty charge notice dated 29th of October, which is being considered by not, has been rejected for the following reasons. The penalty charge was issued as an area in which the vehicle was parked is governed by double yellow lines. As stated in the Highway Code, double yellow lines indicate no waiting at any time, and these restrictions apply to the carriageway, pavement, verge, double yellow lines, blah. Double yellow, no waiting at any time. But it's a bloody parking space, and there's a sign up saying blue badge holders only. They haven't photographed that sign saying that. Just bear with me. It is the responsibility of the motorist to observe and adhere to the signs, notices and road markings prior to parking their vehicle. We have noted that the letter you sent to us is similar to those found on advice websites or similar medium. Please note, it is not advisable to follow the information on these websites, as the information contained on them is not correct. Right, this is my response to them. I am writing in response to your letter dated 2nd of November 2012, so that I had to act according to the law and maintain the body of natural rights, as I have detailed in my previous correspondence. In my original notice, I quoted the Bill of Rights Act and the European Convention on Human Rights. You have either misunderstood what the acts say, or you have willingly disregarded them, which is gross negligence, which is equal to fraud. I have also detailed my conditional acceptance of your offer to pay the money allegedly owed. This conditional acceptance removed all controversy. For your convenience, here is my conditional offer that I made. Blah 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 blah. Repeated me conditionally. So your failure to provide clarification after being served notice and given time to do so in good faith dishonoured the original notice and meant that permanent estoppel was made by your acquiescence. If you continue to pursue this, it could be considered unlawful and illegal harassment, and I could act accordingly and report you to a number of relevant bodies. I can confirm that everything written in my original notice of understanding is true, and you have not rebutted any of the claims I made. Because of the absence of your rebuttal, you have tacitly agreed to my original notice. Also, you stated in your notice of rejection that the letter I sent was similar to those found on advice websites. That does not mean that my notice was not of my own composition, and it does not mean that the information in my notice is not accurate. You also stated that the area in which the vehicle was parked is governed by double yellow lines. This does not mean that a law has been broken. You also stated that the letter I provided has no legal standing, yet you failed to rebut the claims I made. I will not appeal, as there is nothing to appeal against, as no law has been broken or crime committed. Also, I do not give you permission to use, process or hand out my personal data to any third party, as is my right pursuant of the Data Protection Act. You are hereby also notified that for my time henceforth spent reading, preparing, making and answering communications of any sort related to this matter beyond today, 5th of November. Sending a lot of letters on 5th of November. I got a lot of parking tickets around the same time. Fee schedule £100 for telephone conversation, £100 for letters, same as letter before. Phillips Specialist Bailiffs. This schedule still applies until such time that all my requests for clarification have been met. Blah 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 blah. Between myself and Nottingham. Should you ignore this notice, I will report you to the Office of Fair Trading and the Trading Standards, as you will be in breach of the Administration of Justice Act, Section 40, since the agreement is unenforceable while in dispute. Sincerely and without ill will, Dan. Not heard from him since 5th of November. Same as Phillips Specialist Bailiffs. Usually, I've dealt with Central Ticket Office and Nottinghamshire County Council. Honestly, I've lost count. 4, 5, 6, 7 times maybe. And it never takes them this long to hand it on to a bailiffs and start getting that. It takes a month or 2 months. Not heard from these in March now? Not heard from them since beginning of November, January, February, March 4. If I do hear out, I'll let you know. Nottinghamshire County Council. Nah then, this one completely ignored it. I thought, we'll see how far it goes. I've had success. Bailiffs has been round to my house before, threatened to. We've got a walk-in possession order. They said, we're going to come in your house, we're going to remove your vehicle, we're going to get a locksmith to come and undo your house. We've got all these threats. Just listen to me, watch my video called How to Beat the Bailiffs. You get the full scope of that. Nothing ever happened. So I thought, right, with this one, Nottingham City Council, this was driving in a bus lane. I got photographed driving in a bus lane. A lot of the letters I just sent back. Return to sender. There was some photos on one of them that I sent back. So I don't want to contract with you. Well, anyway, this was August of 2012. I hope you can hear me. I'm talking quiet because lad's asleep. Oh, got this one from Asda. Just bloody ignore them. If they're a private company, fucking ignore it. You might get a few more letters, this, that, but nothing ever comes of it. I say in my other videos, send it back to them with a little note, I respectfully decline to contact. You don't even have to do that. It's just nice, it's honourable to do that. I've got some letters here to read out in a minute. Some success letters from Newlyn, debt collectors. Their client was civil enforcement, and another one here from I think this Nottinghamshire County Council. Yeah, Nottingham City Council, driving in a bus lane. They've handed it on to debt collection agency Equita. I've had a letter from Equita, and then I've had a couple of letters from Equita actually, and they put this through my door: bailiff removal delivered by hand. I have called at your home today to execute a warrant issued by Northampton County Court, which we all know is not a legitimate court that you can go to and have a fair and just trial. It's a big office block. If you go on Google Earth, you can have a look at it. It's just an office block. It's a bulking centre. It's Northampton County Court Bulking Centre. I am authorised by the court under the Enforcement of Road Traffic Debts Certified Bailiffs Regulations 1993 Amendments 2003. The removal of your vehicle / household effects to satisfy your unpaid penalty charge notice due to Nottingham City Council. If you fail to contact me within the next 24 hours, I will have no alternative but to reattend your property. Well, I did call him up. And I says, look, I'm not paying it. I says, I made a genuine mistake. I said, by the time I had a chance to correct myself, I was being forced down there by other drivers, which is totally not what happened. That's an absolute lie, a fabrication. I'm being dishonourable. Shame on me for doing that. But I'm just putting forward a scenario that may happen. I says, look, I'm not paying it. I says, your letters don't scare me. Do what you've got to do. This was other day, so I'll keep you posted on. They're bound to come to my house, and I will videotape the conversation and post it up. And I just ignored that. So you know, those that I didn't ignore and wrote these letters to sort of left me alone. So I'll keep you posted. So my mate, his name's Dan, who I've been helping out with parking tickets. He had this letter back, civil enforcement, which was part at council. The parking ticket went to debt collectors. It got up to outstanding balance 240 quid. Wrote him a few notices. He got this back. Further to your recent communication, we write to confirm the arrangement we have agreed to assist you in paying the above amount. Now this is the arrangement. We are prepared to accept an initial payment of £0 followed by £0 every 0 days commencing. This were in May 26, 2011. Not heard anything since. It's a weird one. Important information. We are prepared to accept an initial payment of £0 followed by £0 every 0 days commencing. You need to be aware that if this arrangement is not strictly adhered to, then further changes may be applied to your file and further action taken to recover the outstanding amount. Very interesting. They've not admitted anything. They've just said, look, this is your payment arrangement. Stick to it. We want nothing from you. Weird. This is a good one. Nottinghamshire County Council no longer wishes to contest this case any further. On this occasion, we accept your appeal. However, this does not set any precedents for any future penalty charge notices issued from the same contravention which may not be cancelled. This case is now closed. So this is good. This is brilliant. Nottinghamshire County Council no longer wishes to contest this case any further. So, you know, plenty of success. It's just about sticking with it and not backing down. That's what it's all about. That's what I've learned. I'm taking the Free Men on the Land letters down off my site because some people are having success, some people aren't having success, some people are having the car clamped. So I've took it down. These beauties, these letters that I've just run out, amazing success, really good. So if you get any parking tickets, give it a try. Good luck. Over and out.